And nobody else here now. I have the beach all to myself. Absolutely ultimate. Aloha, good afternoon, how's it going? Today is Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, currently 81 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 27 degrees Celsius, a perfect day here in tropical island, Hawaiian paradise. So this is where I'm staying. I've shown my room already, my timeshare that I have for a week here, and so I thought that for today I would just make a Hawaii vlog without all the talking and reminiscing about old times, maybe a few, we'll see, but the last number of videos of mine have been a lot of telling stories and whatnot, and so today I thought that I would just document my day heading out to explore this amazing island of Kauai. But first, I have some business to take care of sorts, which is that when I checked in here 2 days ago, then they invited me to go on a tour of one of their other Club Wyndham resorts, the Bali High, which I think is going to be a sales pitch. I think that's the deal. Maybe they're going to try to sell me another timeshare, which I am most definitely not going to buy. I am happy with the one that I have, but one is enough. But they said that if I do this thing, then they will reimburse the exchange fee for my next timeshare. So as I discussed previously, then the place where I'm staying is $299. That is for a full week. 299 bucks, which is about what you would pay for a night at a lot of places in Hawaii or up from there. And so that's how I save, you know, the money and make up for what I paid for the timeshare, is you get these great deals on accommodation. So $299 plus $3 a day fee, 21 bucks, $320 for the whole week. That works out to $45 a night. So that is amazing to be in Hawaiian paradise. But if I do this meeting tour of the resort, then they will cover my next exchange fee, that $299. So an hour of my time to save 299 bucks the next time I use my timeshare. So that's what's going on. So I think these are nene, the Hawaiian geese. There was a sign back there saying, "Don't feed the nene." Looks like this guy is anticipating getting fed. All right, I am definitely pushing the time, so let's get there. Bali High Villas, Wyndham. So I'll show a bit of the resort as I walk in here. We have some dolphins. Nice fountains. Goldfish. So far I'm getting the impression that this is newer and a little bit nicer than where I'm staying. Guest registration, maybe that's where I need to go. All right, well that is done. It was fairly brutal. An hour and 45 minutes of basically pure sales pitch. They weren't too, high pressure or anything. It was just a lot of information explaining the whole system. So it was selling a timeshare similar to what I already have in terms of being flexible with the location and the dates, and you get points and all that. But basically a kind of higher standard as far as the access that you get to their properties, because it's a bigger overarching company, but also more expensive, like 40 to 70,000 bucks higher annual fee. And I was just, not making a big purchase today at all, so didn't go for anything. But I got my $299 bucks, so basically the next week will be just free. Anyways, now I'm free. So I want to get down to Secret Beach, which is definitely one of the most beautiful beaches on the island. It isn't far away, but far too far to walk, so I need to get over there. But once again, I am just missing the bus going that direction. It will only be like a 10-minute bus ride or so, but it just left like 10 minutes ago. So I can try the hitching, but first, I'm feeling like a beer. Kick back and relax a little bit and figure out what I'm gonna do, whether I'm gonna hitch it or just wait for the bus or whatever. So back in the Princeville Center here. All right, got a tasty amber ale, but I'm thinking maybe I will go for the hitching, get it done, and then enjoy the beer once I get there. Let's give it a try. See how long this takes. First, gotta find a better spot to stand. No room there for anybody to pull over, so let's see what's up ahead. Okay, here we go. Let the hitchhiking begin. Room here for a car to pull over. It took 10 minutes last time to get from Princeville to Honolulu. And that took about 3 minutes. A woman from Santa Rosa, California, which is very close to the area that I am from. So if you saw either of the last two videos, then I showed an old clip from winter of 2012 in which I was landscaping here in Kauai. My job that I had for 6 months or so while I was living in Kapa'a, had an apartment there in 2011 and 2012. So this is our pretty awesome landscaping mobile here. It's almost brand new. We had another one that was a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna sort of one-hand it here with the driving. That's my boss over there. So that video clip was filmed right here. This is the property, the people that I worked for. I had two different jobs, one here and then another one nearby. So this is the parking area for walking down to Secret Beach, and then it is a nice pleasant 10-minute or so walk, although it's more pleasant going down straight here, and then as you will see, very steep downhill, so kind of intense coming back up. But anyway, that really helped me out, especially because she brought me all the way here, because otherwise you have like a mile walk to get to there. And here we go. Look at this fantastic view. This is where surfers come to check the waves and see if they want to go for it. Look at that. The beach right there. the Kilauea Lighthouse. All right, let's get down there. So while I'm walking down to the beach, I have to tell one story, which is the first time that I came here to Secrets Beach back in 1997. So quick recap of my previous Hawaiian experience. The first time here was in 1989 as a high school graduation gift that my mom paid for and organized to Kauai here for a week with my mom and my brother. And fast forward 8 years later, 1997, then I decided to come back to Hawaii. Hadn't been here since 89, on a solo backpacking trip for 2 months. I'd worked for my dad and saved up some money, bought the flight, and then came here still on a budget. Stayed at the hostel in Kapa'a a few nights, but other than that, camped almost all of the time here. So I was staying at the hostel in Kapa'a for 2 or 3 nights, and so I had a full day. My first day arriving here, I actually flew to the Big Island first, spent a week there, was initially planning to spend my whole time on the Big Island, and then for various reasons I decided to come back to Kauai, and that was the right choice for a whole bunch of reasons, but it worked out better as a budget backpacker traveler trying to camp around than the Big Island. So I wake up at the hostel, head out, had gotten the recommendation for Secret Beach, and so come down here, and we got some people coming, so I will tell the rest of the story once I get on the beach there. And look at this scene. Absolutely ultimate. Perfect sunny sky. Golden sand that is getting pretty hot. The waves are smaller than in winter, and so when I was here in 1997, that was in January. And so I walk out onto the beach here, and there are some people sitting together, hippie looking folks with some drums and maybe guitar or whatever. Oh man, this sand is really, really hot. And so I go over there and take a seat. Maybe I had some snacks or a drink or something. Take a swim, am hanging out, and then the people over here start playing their drums and other instruments. It's just a small group, maybe like 4 people. And so I decide to walk over to them, say hello, see if I can hang out and talk with them and make some music or whatever. So I walk over to them, and then as I get closer, I realize, holy crap, I know this guy. And so one of the guys there was Natty. Natty was a Canadian who I had traveled with the previous summer of 1996, and that is a whole crazy story that I tell in Following My Thumb, A Decade of Unabashed Wanderlust, in which I get a ride with them from California at a rainbow gathering to Sedona, Arizona, because they were going to this festival that they wanted to work at and make some money. We drive, 2.5 days or whatever, pull into Sedona, and then Natty is looking at the flyer for the festival and realizes, oh crap, we screwed up. The festival isn't in Sedona, it's in Sonoma. Sonoma is in Northern California, not that far away from the rainbow gathering that we had been at where we started the journey. So they'd driven 2.5 days to the completely wrong place, but fortunately Sedona is an amazing place. I was going there for a whole different purpose, which I won't get lost on that whole story, but pretty funny. And so we ended up hanging out there in Sedona and did some other things in the Southwest, and so spent a fair amount of time together. And then after I found him there, then that led into my whole adventures here on Kauai, for the next, 6 or 7 weeks, because I just flown from the Big Island, so I had another 7 weeks left, and had a whole series of awesome adventures involving hanging out with a lot of really cool people, other backpackers, vagabonds, hippies that were, here camping and sleeping on the beaches and stuff like that. I went out to the Kauai Valley with a group of people and did all kinds of fun stuff. So that was a really ultimate time here. So anyways, waves are looking nice still, a little bit rough. The waves here are kind of intense, especially in the winter. So the further you head that way, the better it gets. Kind of more remote, less people, and I think that the waves are smaller that way as well and easier to swim at. So I'm just going to walk on down that way. So I guess it's a bit choppy today because it's also windy. If it were more calm, then the waves would definitely be calmer. But winters, bigger waves, summer, much calmer in general. But it really depends a lot on the beach you go to. Some of them are just always, bigger waves, smaller waves, whatever. All right, I'm going to take a seat in the sand in the shade up here and drink that beer and then continue further down the beach. So I got an African Amber Ale. Never heard of an African Amber before, by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. They're located in Redmond, Washington. I usually like amber ales, so let's give this sucker a try. Oh, that is awesome. That is pretty much my perfect beer right there. A bit of hearty flavor, darkish, but not too heavy. Still nice and cold. $3 for this. Just got one of them. It is 5.8%, so a good solid alcohol content percentage. All right, gonna down this and then plan to get in the water soon. So there's just one issue with getting to that end of the beach, which is that it is a long damn ways. So if you take the bus and get off at the closest stop in Kilauea, then you have quite a walk to get to the parking lot where the lady that I got the ride with dropped me off right there, and so I saved a whole walk there. But then you need to walk from the parking lot down to the beach at that end, and then you have this very, very long walk to get out there. So that's got to be more than a mile from that far end to that far end. But there is another way. There is a shortcut trail, which I've only taken once or twice, that gets you up to Kilauea. Now there I can actually see some stairs. Looks like that is probably personal access, private access for that house there. But there's a trail somewhere along here that goes up to Kilauea, because the town of Kilauea is off the highway. There is a bus stop on the highway at Kilauea, and then another bus stop in the town of Kilauea, and so it would actually be a lot easier to get off the bus in Kilauea town and then take that path down, but I don't remember where that trail is. Okay, some people over there. I don't see... Ooh, could that maybe actually be public access? Let's go find out. If it's private access, there will be a sign saying no trespassing at the bottom, I would imagine. Maybe that is actually the way up to Kilauea. Whoa. Okay, let's find out here. A tent right there. So that's how I did it back in 1997. Just camped around the island, including on Secret Beach here. And so there's a sign, no trespassing. But it isn't blocking these stairs, huh? I just don't know. I mean, that could be saying like, don't go there, which why would you try to go there anyways? You'd think that it would be more clear if you couldn't go up these stairs, that they would put the sign right across the trail, huh? So I'm kind of confused as to whether this is going to end at that house and then you have to come back down, or if it will go through. But I don't want to do the hike right now and try to find out, so I'm going to continue down the beach and take a swim, hang out, and then look for another trail, because I remember more of a rough trail going up. So maybe there are more than one access points to get up to Kilauea, but perhaps that will work if I don't find something else. And look what I just saw. Steps going up. They can't be going nowhere to put that much effort into those steps. They've got to be going to the top. Look at that. So that is definitely worth a try. And nobody else here now. I have the beach all to myself. Absolutely ultimate. Oh yeah, this is amazing. The waters are looking nice and clear, much nicer than yesterday at Honolulu Bay. Just perfect, and less choppy here than the other end of the beach. It just tends to be usually a bit calmer, easier to get into the water here, and less people make it down here. So, oh man, this is perfect. I gotta say, if I had to choose the best beach in the world, man, this is definitely way up there on the list. You could easily call it number one. I mean, all of the qualities in terms of just the beauty of the beach, the quality of the sand, the epic backdrop, the lack of people is obviously a huge one. Lots of the best beaches in the world that make it onto the list are super popular. Tons of people, umbrellas, all that. Look at this, almost entirely to myself. A couple of people down there, and then the water is gorgeous. So yeah, definitely one of the best places in the world. All right, I am very curious to find out if this is actually going to get me up to the top. Let's give it a try and see how it goes. Okay, so that worked, but I have absolutely no idea where I am now. That was definitely not the path that I had in mind, which I'm sure that I've done at least once, and it leads you right up to the center of Kilauea, which must be back this way. I could check on my phone, but I'm certain it's got to be this way, although the lighthouse would be further out there, but I think it's got to be this way to get back to civilization, so to speak, but this is just a little bit surreal. Well, this has turned into more of an adventure than I was expecting, because now Google Maps is telling me to go back that way to get to Kilauea. It shows this network of roads in here, and two roads almost coming right together, but not quite, but so close. I can't imagine what would be in the way, because if I can cross that gap somehow, then I am a lot closer to the highway and can get back to Princeville that way. If not, then I have a long walk retracing my steps this way and then wrapping around to get to Kilauea, because this whole area was totally unknown to me. These are the properties that are just above Secret Beach. So Secret Beach is just right over there. I'm not going to be able to get through here. Oh man, I am tired out at this point. I now have like a 40-minute walk to get to Kilauea, but I have no other choice but to turn around, retrace my steps, admit defeat on this one, and just keep on walking. And now it's raining, and I'm getting really hungry. It is almost 6 o'clock. But not too much further of a walk to Kilauea. All right, so back on track. The Kilauea Lighthouse is that way about a mile. Here at Kauai and Kilauea Road, and Kilauea is about a mile this way. And this is Kilauea, made it back to civilization. Now I need to decide whether to grab something to eat here or get the bus back to Princeville, but I am smelling a hamburger right now. Oh man, that smells so good. Might have to go for that here. So the bus will be here in about 20 minutes. And it is a 10-minute walk to the bus stop. So decided to go ahead and get this done, get to Princeville, and then find a restaurant, relax for dinner, and have this last little transportation situation out of the way. Then I just have one more walk back to my hotel. So this is the temporary bus stop, I guess, because of construction happening over there. And look at this, it is coming down hard now. Man, oh man. This is Hawaii. Rain, shine, rain, shine. So got my $2, that's how much it is for the bus. So I've been sitting here for about 20 minutes, and I was looking at that sign and finally read it. No Sunday service. Today is Sunday. Man, this day has turned into a much more complicated and exhausting experience than I'd expected, but no huge deal. I am now waiting for Uber to tell me if there is somebody nearby. Otherwise, I'm hitching it, but it's starting to get dark. It's kind of wet out there. And I am really, really hungry at this point. Man, oh man. So anyways, it's not far back to Princeville, but gotta figure it out. Let's see if an Uber is coming. So Uber was taking too long to find a ride. I decided to cancel it and try the hitching, but then there's this whole crazy construction zone here. But there is a spot right here, which was the old bus stop. This looks like the best option because it's all construction out that way. So, one of those kind of days. I'm sure it'll work out here. That guy right there saved my butt. I'm back in Princeville, but it was a long wait. I tried to order an Uber a couple of times and it was just spinning and spinning and not finding anyone. But things worked out. That guy was really interesting. He had done this crazy swim from Ka Beach to Hanakapiai. Anyone who knows Kauai will know that that is borderline insane. All right.